Good morning. My name is Christine Pillay, and I'm a prospective student at SUNY Brockport College. I've created a proposal today about expanding the educational opportunities for students at SUNY Brockport. Just to give you a little information, background on my education, I graduated in 2006 from SUNY Brockport with an English literature degree. I completed that degree fully in a traditional classroom setting, like normal students usually. I then went on and pursued an education and graduated in 2010 from Monroe Community College with an online degree in business administration. Every class that I took was online. I'm now going in 2013 for a bachelor's degree in accounting at SUNY Brockport. I've had a lot of difficulty trying to fit a schedule with 2 jobs and going to school. I wanted to take a look and examine the current education options at SUNY Brockport. As you can see, SUNY Brockport is made up of the State University of New York, or SUNY, and it's part of 64 universities in New York State. Brockport offers 49 academic majors. Most of the majors require from 70 to 78 credits to graduate. There's also a student learning network inside of SUNY, or an SLN network, which is made up of online courses that you can take that SUNY accepts as part of your academic program. Only 6 of the 64 universities offer full degree programs. A small number of online classes are offered at SUNY Brockport. However, for my degree in accounting, there were 0 online classes for the fall of 2013 for me to enroll in. I want to take a little look back at the background of what is leading to this proposal, and that's the economic crisis of 2008. How did it happen and what happened? Basically, there were overpriced homes, people that were buying homes that couldn't afford it, and they were buying at balloon rates, which means it starts off small, you pay into it, gradually over time the interest rate increases, which is what terms it the balloon rate. There was also what was called credit default swapping. It started in 1994. It was insurance agencies that buy default mortgages and they assume the loss. How that works is they make payments to the seller and they receive a buyout or a payout if the mortgage does in fact default. What was happening with people buying homes that they couldn't afford is that many homes were going into default. In 2007, the credit default swap had an outstanding total of $62.2 trillion. That eventually led to your buyouts and your bailouts. And one example that you may know is AIG, the American International Group. The federal government gave them $85 billion because of their losses that they had taken from credit default swapping. All of these things eventually led to the market crash, where the Dow Jones lost 34% of its value. That not only was a national crisis, but it became an international crisis as the global economy depends highly on the Dow Jones. That directly affected the jobs in our country. Immediately after the market crash, 2 million jobs were lost and the unemployment shot up to 7.2% in 2008. In 2007, the unemployment was close to around 4.5%, so it was a substantial jump. That little background leads to my proposal. I'd like to adjust to the economic changes by offering more online classes to students. As you can see, I've laid out here a couple examples of how the market crash has affected our economy, and that's in the way of layoffs. The U.S. Postal Service in March of 2010 laid off 30,000 people. While the Postal Service had made layoffs prior to that, during this time it was especially difficult to adjust. Also, General Motors, when your country is in a recession, people do not buy new cars and they tend to fix their old cars. Because of that, in February 2009, there were 47,000 layoffs. Citigroup is a financial institution, also known to do credit default swapping. They had a major layoff of 50,000 employees immediately after the market crash in November of 2008. A little more local, if you want to talk about the Rochester area, Kodak continued their layoffs, and in February 2009 announced that 24% of their employees would be laid off in the next 3 years. Another example of a local layoff might be Bausch and Lomb. While they did 13,000 worldwide layoffs in 2009, 1,600 of them were at Rochester employees alone. So the point of talking about the layoffs is because if you think about all of those people going back into the workforce, that means that these are people that are not working, they're looking for work, and they're most likely going to look to education to find a job to be able to maintain their normal living. Online learning provides flexibility in classroom and the setting. You can do your homework when you want, you can go to class when you want, you can maintain your normal life as you normally would. If you think about it, a better education as an adult is much more urgent than as an 18-year-old or a freshman, sophomore coming right out of high school. There's bills to pay, mortgages to pay, and people need to get a job now. The fastest way to get an education in a timely manner is through online learning. 71% of colleges report that they offer online classes, and the value is the same as a traditional style setting. Also, 62% of students believe that they are able to do online learning while working a full-time job, which is very important because once you get past a certain point in your life, you have to pay a mortgage and you have to pay bills and raise a family. My proposal to adjust the economic change, I think, should be implemented in the fall of 2014. That would give you a full year to implement this, to design more online classes. The school calendar year usually starts in the fall, so it would make the most sense to start with the calendar year, as there's prerequisites with classes and things are usually scheduled in order, so it would make the most sense. As far as staffing changes, I don't think that you would really need to employ more staff. I think that the technical positions that you have would let you schedule, and it actually would be a little bit less of a hassle because you wouldn't be blocking out rooms, blocking out times, figuring out what professor's available at this time or in the afternoons. You would have that flexibility because it would be, like the students, an online setting. As far as budgets, I don't see a lot of additional costs, and in fact, most of the schools that offer online classes offer or charge a fee. And my last class at MCC had a $48 fee. So if all students were taking online classes, not only are you getting the tuition, but you're getting an additional fee on top of the classes to add on to the tuition. An increase in classes would involve an increase of students signing up, which would also increase the income coming in. You may see a possible increase in some teacher salary. I wouldn't see more than a 5% increase on salaries, however. Most teachers would like the online setting, I would think, because of, like it's for students, it offers the flexibility. And again, no additional technical staffing positions, so you wouldn't be paying a lot more into your employee wages. For a closing thought, I just want you to think about all of the people that we discussed that are being laid off and looking for work, and to think about the fact that 3.9 million people over the years of 35 years old are enrolled in an institution that is degree granting, which means that they're signing up, they're going to school, and they're trying to get a degree to enable them to get a job. That was as of 2010. That increase, that number of 3.9 million, is a 20% increase since 2006. Also, 6.1 million undergraduate students are enrolled in at least one online class, also as of 2010. That number has increased. The prior year, fall of 2009, only 500,000 students were enrolled in an online class. The online teaching is the way of education now, and I think it's important to change with the economy and see the changes that are going on. The unemployment has gone down, but it hasn't gone down enough that we can't afford to offer online classes to our adults, our baby boomers, our people that are trying to be a part of society through education and through employment. Thank you.